Welcome. Thank you for all joining us. This is our first episode of the Bimmer Podcast. I am your co-host, Warren. If not, it's the slowest Chinese food delivery guy in the X3. But we'll get back to that later. And I want to introduce you to the man of the hour for today's first episode, Jeremy King. Please.
Hey, glad to have you guys here.
And at the same time, co-hosting with me, none other than the president of Long Island Beamers, Nestor.
Hey guys, I just want to say big thank you to 16G80 Jeremy for having us here. He's gonna be showing some of his M's that he has on his collection.
So Jeremy, I know you're a big avid fan of BMW.
Clearly, right?
Couldn't tell, but if you guys don't know, he has 6 BMWs, all tricked out. Which one of your cars has been the most favorite?
This one that you're sitting in front of right here, the Kith M4, is probably my favorite of the 6 that I have right now.
What exactly drew you to this particular model?
The rarity of it, I think, is more than anything else. I already had a G80 at the time. I've driven the M4 on the track up at a BMW event. I felt like it was a superior car to the G80.
Okay.
And when the Kith Edition came available at a local dealer, who I'm having a really good relationship with, I made the decision to pick it up. It was a great decision, I think.
That's awesome. So it's one of the rare spec or trimmed cars.
Correct.
Out there for the M4.
150 were made total, so this will be one of those 150.
Now, as far as the Kith model, what else have you done to the car specifically?
This car, we kept it pretty light, super OEM plus, full acropovic exhaust from the turbos back. So that's downpipes, midsection, rear section, octagonal tips, because I thought they fit the car real well. We did a full Eventuri intake system on this car, Carbon Stage 2 tune with the full CSF cooling package, and KW V3 suspension and the BBS LMRs.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nestor, what do you like your M4 better or do you like this one?
Come on, man! Don't put me in that position. you know, Jeremy got one of the best M collection out there. I don't care what people say, but hey, it is what it is. He got it like that, and huge shout out to him.
And we work hard for it around here, so why not
hard work
enjoy
pay
it?
off, right?
Yeah.
So shout out to him, and definitely he got one of the most beautiful G82 out there. I haven't seen any other G82 Kith like him, so I give that to him.
We're not scared to mod them. We're not scared to drive them. That's what I feel like. If you buy a car like this, a lot of the guys are putting them away. That's not what we do here in this garage. We drive all of them.
Exactly. It's not a collector's piece. It's not a trailer queen.
No, these are all driven cars. All have miles on them. That's why we immediately do suspension and the proper upgrades to make it yours. To make it drive the way you want it to.
I mean, out of the gate, obviously BMW puts so much effort and research into the car, but obviously you got to fine tune it just a little bit to make it exactly yours.
Yeah, they also have constraints with DOT regulations and things like that prohibit them from making it too low or too That's where we come in aftermarket and we'll.
Definitely, because obviously they're trying to sell a vehicle that appeals to the masses.
Correct.
And then obviously comfort and speed. Sometimes not everybody's into that, but obviously with your collection and what you've done to the car, everything hands out, down, just do it, and we'll go balls out from there.
Yeah, I like to make them the way I expected them to be made from the factory. That's what we try to do, and then we go a little crazy on some of them.
This is what's up. So now let me ask you one thing though. The X5M that you have, obviously she's sexy, she's super beautiful. Can you explain a little bit more of what you have done to the car?
So this car, I had actually saw a version of it at Impact a few years ago up in the Poconos. And Dynan brought that car out, same color, same interior, same spec. And I was just amazed by the way it looked, the way it sounded. So I decided once one came available, I was getting rid of another car. I figured I would get into this. I think I got rid of an F80 at the time. So to move out of the F80, I already had the G80. I jumped into the X5M because it's a car I always wanted, a big SUV, strong, quick, loud. So we went ahead and built it.
So what you have done to the car?
A couple different stages. One, at first it was a full Dynan build, whatever the point system is to get, with Dynan to get the proper badging and all that. We moved on from that and we made it a full carbon truck, just like most of the cars in my collection are built by Carbon. That car is flashed ECUs, unlocked in Finland by Femto, full stage 3 CSF cooling on that one as well. So that's a pretty serious truck at this point. It's probably anywhere between 850 and 860 all-wheel drive horsepower.
Now, let me ask you a question though. How is the handling on that thing? How
So-
does it handle on the turns?
For a long time, we ran like a Haas kit on that truck because there just wasn't a lot available suspension-wise, I felt like, that I wanted to do to it. So the Haas kit sustained for a while. And then when I took it to Carbon and had the latest work done with the breaking of the ECUs and all of that, that was post warranty at 40,000 miles. When I hit that at this truck is when I chose to do that work, just to try to preserve the warranty up until that point. And when I did that, I reached out to my shop. Thompson BMW was the team that did the work on that vehicle, and we did a KW V4 setup on that truck. So now you can take a corner at 110 in that truck.
Must be nice.
Yeah, no question about it.
Of course, SUVs on KWs all day long.
Why not?
You can't beat
pick
it.
up the kids, get groceries.
Jam the whole family in there
Yeah.
and still outrun a slow M4.
Load it up with boxes, whatever you got to do.
I hear you, Dad. Though.
Utility. It's a good utility truck, but it's fun to drive. That's my theme. Everything I have, I want to be somewhat fun to drive. I don't really want to have a boring driving experience. I spend a lot of time driving, and I want to be able to enjoy it when I'm behind the wheel, you know?
Listen, I don't blame you. You know, listen, that's what we built this car for. You know, I always give it that to you because I know you have to drive sometime hours just to go to Long Island to our meets, and you know, like you're one of the guys that don't. It doesn't matter what car you have, you're always driving it. You know, even though you have to put a few miles on the car, that's fine because you're always enjoying it, and you know, that's the passion that we all want to have for the cars.
Sure.
Right. So you know, I'll give that to you.
100%.
Now, newest to your collection, I see this beautiful G90 here.
Yep.
Can you give us a little bit more background behind it?
It's the newest car in the collection, not newest to the collection. I've purchased an E39 behind that car, and then I just picked up this F80 CS behind us. So that car I picked up in November last year, one of the first that were released in the States. It's a great car for what it is. To me, it's a super big car. I would never sacrifice an M3 or an M4 to buy the G90 M5, in my opinion. I might get hate for that. It is what it is. The car is sloppy, I think, suspension-wise because of the weight. Once you start driving it the way an M car should be driven. That car's waiting on a set of KW V4s as well. They'll be the first in the country. They should have been here already. I'm told another 6 weeks, and we'll have that car sitting right on the right suspension. Then we should do a recap on this interview because I think it's going to be a completely different car at that point.
We got you.
Sounds like a monster, especially after you installed the downpipes.
Yeah, we did a full Meister shaft exhaust from GT Haas. They just sent me the downpipes this week. That's what I was showing you guys earlier. The car sounds like an absolute beast for a hybrid.
Yeah,
like
it's insane.
You would never expect it. So that's done. And then we have Carbon on that car again. You can see the controller on the top of the car in the pictures. On the top of the motor bay. It's allegedly on 100 octane to 930 horsepower tune.
That's wild.
The car's a rocket ship. It just needs the V4s to make it the full package.
I love how it look. I love how she said. You know, I love the wheels. What wheels do you have on those?
We're running a set of HRE forged. We did have another set picked out for the car. There was an issue getting them in time for a show that we wanted to do earlier this year. So I reached out to HRE, fantastic brand, not to promote HRE, but they had the wheels to me in 7 days from the time that I picked up the phone and called them.
That's awesome.
And you see what they look like on the car. We're not running any spacers. These are, custom forged.
Yeah, they said perfect on the car. They look amazing. Also, the grill. Did you change anything to the grill? Because I see the mesh on the front. Does that come stuck right now?
No, the mesh on the front is something that Thompson Performance Group brought to my attention through IND's website. They came out with this kit. The kit also extends to the grill holes on the top side of the grill as well. I thought it was too much mesh on the front of the car, so we just kept it simple and just did the bottom side. The issue is that rocks were collecting inside that on top of the oil cooler.
Okay.
And it was just driving me insane. Like, it's way too big of an opening for a factory grill, in my opinion. At some point, I'd like to have something fabricated to go behind so you could see more of the features of the grill rather than just something that covers it. But for right now, it's doing what it needs to do.
And that also include the lip kit?
No, the lip kit was done by R44. They sent me out this early on when they were putting together their G90 stuff. So that's a grill you could find with R44. They also did the rear diffuser for me as well, which is crazy on that.
Okay, nice. Another question. That's a flat black, or is that a stealth PPF?
No, it's a factory color. It's actually frozen dark gray on that car. But that is a factory color. It is stealth PPF on top of the factory color, but the factory color looks just like that underneath. The entire car is not PPF. You can see spots that are true paint, and it looks identical to the areas that do have protection on them.
what are your plans? Because the chassis is still new to the market.
Yep.
Obviously, the tuning world's got their hands on it a little bit, and obviously, the first few cars that are out there were sort of like guinea pigs.
Yeah.
But what's the future plans? Are you aware of any?
I'm getting to the point in car ownership where there's definitely future plans. Once more stuff comes out, I've got intakes, planned for it. I've got a better tune, like more involved build ideas for it. But I think that the sweet spot of these cars is a certain horsepower. And I think that horsepower range is anywhere between like 6 and 750 horsepower.
Also, they'll offset the weight of the car because the battery.
This car's a little heavier. That's what I was going to get into. It's so the more horsepower you have with that car, it's not really going to feel so quick.
Mm-hmm.
But once you start getting to the 1,000, 1,200 horsepower, those are track cars, in my opinion. I would never be able to use that on the street. And I've just gotten to the point in my older age, not that I'm old yet, but I'm getting there, that like I want drivable cars. That's my thing right now, is I want things that I could drive hard, fast, and for a long period of time.
Like most of us, we live in our cars practically these days. So you got to make sure that you enjoy it, but also be comfortable.
For sure.
And reliability, even though it's a BMW, you still got to realize that having all the horsepower in the world doesn't mean anything if the car's still sitting on the side of the garage.
It's all about maintenance, right? I have a great partner that does all the maintenance on my vehicles. These cars are in the shop all the time. There's a tow truck picking them up, dropping them off. You got to keep them in the right shape to be able to use them the way you want to use them on the Sundays that we go out and rip, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like you have to maintain any machine that you operate, and these are no different than that. The one drawback to this car, and it's the only thing bad that I have to say other than the sloshy suspension, which we're going to rectify with the V4s, is the front end of that car is super low. You can see I have, this car sits on coilovers like they all do. This is the lowest of all the cars that are sitting here. It creates an issue with wanting to drive it, right? Because you're like, oh, if I go here and the apron of the driveway sucks.
You got to foresee which route I'm going to take.
And it's not really that type of car. That's a car you want to jump in with your wife. You want to go out and get dinner. You want to maybe take a long trip in it.
That's definitely a cruiser, in a sense.
So in my opinion, they should have shortened the
Okay, now let's talk about this bad boy that I have behind myself, the F80 CS that you just got. Can we talk about that car a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a 2018 M3 CS, sapphire black metallic. We just got it back from the shop over at J King Automotive out in New Jersey. He did a bunch of upgrades to the suspension, some DCT work, differential bushings. He did the cooling system upgrade on it. We're just getting it ready to be tuned. I've only had the car about 3 weeks now. He also did the wheel setup on the car. You see it as BBS LMRs in the diamond black. So we're prepping this car to be a monster at some point, but it's new to me, so I'm just slowly going through it.
Perfect. Question. Are you planning to single turbo it, or you're gonna keep it stock? The other thing is, what makes you go back to the F chassis when you have G, which you got a G80, you got a G82, you got a G90, but you went backward. So, let's talk about that. So I want to hear some, so I own a F, right? So, and everyone say the G is not like a driver car. The F car are like a driver car. Are more like a raw car. So, I want to hear what you got to say on that.
And I understand those kind of comments. I went back to the F series for a few reasons. Because it has more of a connected driver feel. It's a beautiful looking car. In my opinion, it's going to appreciate really well over the coming years because of the way it looks. Like, I really like the look of the car. The design of the car is crazy to me. I had one. I sold it when I got into the G80, and I missed it ever since I sold it. So, that's pretty much why I'm back here at the F80. I knew at some point I would find one. I just needed to find a clean one that was low mileage. And
well, that's a special aspect. So you got the plus. I have never seen any other black CS. I have seen white, blue,
gray,
and gray. Yep. Nardo gray, I think, or I'm not sure what's the real
like
name.
Nardo,
like a Nardo gray. But I have never seen. This is my first F80 on black that I have, a CS that I have seen.
Me too.
It's super beautiful.
It also has carbon ceramics. I've never seen a CS
you
with
got
carbon ceramics. Yeah,
wow.
So it's a very rare spec.
It seems like it to me, so that's why I had jumped on it. There was a couple small things that made it not so cool that the previous owner did to it, but we've already stripped all that of it. Changed some light bulbs and got rid of some LED strips.
Took off some stickers.
I see where we're going.
I see where we're going. Like, it was definitely clapped.
But are we gonna do anything into the engine? Are we gonna single turbo? Are we gonna build the engine? What are we doing?
After seeing your build and the reliability of your build, I'm possibly gonna maybe go that route. I just don't know. I don't have a single turbo car. I come from like really like the N54 world, the 335s back in the day, where I always wanted a single turbo that with a big Doc race kit. Never got a chance to. So I don't know. Like half of me wants to be responsible and older and have a car that drives really well, and the other half wants to be able to smoke the tires off of the back of it. You know what I mean? So
let me tell you one thing though. Having a single turbo on the F chassis is one of the best things, bro.
Yeah.
When you downshift there, bro, I just go, bah, bah, come on, baby, give me the soft. Big outside, you know what I mean? It's something different. I speak to a lot of my guys, and I always say, bro, guys, if you own a S55, you have to single turbo. You know, the sounds, it's just the DCT. So, you know, it's a different transmission. So we all know how that kick in.
Yeah.
So I love my car, you know, like, I know so many people been asking me, when you getting a G? You know, one of the main reasons I haven't bought a G yet is because of that, because I love my F chassis. I love my F80 too. But, you know, eventually I'll get one.
I went through issues with my F80 back in the day. I built the hell out of it, blew the motor. Like, so it was a relationship with that car, you know? And by the time I walked away from it, I was really done. Like, and the G series was really enticing to me at that point. But after driving G-Class, you know, G-Series cars for 3 or 4 years now, there's something missing. I've
It's a
recently
totally
gone
different
back
drive.
to,
Rear-wheel drive, DCT, whereas sometimes they say it's idiot-proof in the G-Series.
Yeah, it is.
All-wheel drive, ZF, automatic.
Yep.
But at the same token, you got to enjoy what you enjoy.
Yeah.
And at least this way, you have an opportunity to enjoy both, best of both worlds.
And these are such great cars. Why would you not want one from every era? You know, why wouldn't you want an E-chassis M3? Why wouldn't you want, you know what I mean? I would. At some point, there'll be an E92 M in this garage. You know, at some point, there'll probably be an E46 and an E36 in this garage at some point.
So now, you know, we just went through a few cars. I know you also have an E39.
I do, yeah.
So what's the experience that you have had so far with the car?
It's been nothing but love with that car. I mean, it's funny because cars are so modern today with all the Apple CarPlays and the heated and cooling seats and the cup holders and all the cool heads-up stuff, you know what I mean? But you get into this car and it's like a time machine. Like it really brings you back to not listening to the radio, listening to the car, you know, manually shifting. It's a big V8. Like it's such a great car to me. There's a reason why it's called like the best M5 that was built.
What you have done to it?
That car has a full V3 KW setup on it, BBS, LM wheels, Venturi intakes and plenum cover. And we did like basically like a full soft resto on it. Like we really went over every little thing in that car that was iffy and put it back together.
Around how much money you think you have spent on that car?
The car itself was about 38. My wife's gonna watch this.
Don't worry about it.
There's some money spent on that car. I mean, and I also go to, you know, to a dealership that has a performance group section of it. It's not the cheapest labor, it's master technician work. So
it's kind of amazing that you actually partnered with a dealership that's
absolutely
allowing you and backing you up to do all these modifications.
100%. I mean, Thompson Performance Group, I can't say enough good stuff about that brand. We've created a relationship where it's mutually beneficial.
So is it worth it to spend the money on the E39?
Is it worth it to die with a pocket full of money? That's my answer to that.
I don't blame you.
You know what I mean? Like at a certain point in life, you got to enjoy what you love. I came up in that era. When I was old enough to be able to afford a 2002 M5, there was no way I could have. You know, I was nowhere close to even thinking about it. But it was a car that I always dreamed of owning. So when you get to a point in life, you got to sometimes make those dreams come true. And it's absolutely a decision that I would make again and again. Like there's no regrets. LMs. Oh, LMs. Yeah, like a light gold LM. That car is getting a clutch.
What size spec do you have on those?
19s.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll post pictures, I'm sure.
Aggressive?
Super aggressive, yeah. And on KWs, the thing sits like you've never seen.
Another question is, so we just went through...
But that's a stock horsepower car, the E39, yeah.
Let's talk about, when I first met you, I met you on the Blue G80.
Correct.
Let's talk about that car, because I know you have put a lot of love, a lot of money into that car.
A lot of tears, a lot of sleepless nights.
Let's talk about that car. What do you have to say about that car? That was your first.
My first G class, yeah,
right?
G series, absolutely, yeah. That car was amazing. I wound up picking it up because it was one of the first all-wheel drive on the market at the time. And at that time, they were so sought after back in 2021 that I could have easily flipped it, right? I chose not to. After driving it for a week, that was the original intention. It was a stripped-down spec. It had white interior on a Portimao car, not something that I would have spec'd. I bought the car, and after a week of driving it, there was no way I was going to give it back. I said, I'm going to start building it because it's amazing. Like, it was the best car that I've driven up until that point. And we've gone through everything with that car. We started building, power on it. We got it to about an 850 horsepower car on full E at some point through a partnership between Thompson Performance, Thompson BMW, and Autocraft BMW out in Long Island. Teamed up and built that for me. We drove it hard for about a year. We had an issue last October where we wound up blowing the motor in that car, and now it's getting a stroker installed by Carbon, who deals with all the other stuff that I have.
So you're doing a stroker on that car?
We are, 3.2 stroker. That car will be on the streets within a few weeks.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Everybody watch out.
So, fully built engine?
Fully built engine, yeah. Which Carbon is known for. That's what they do. They build.
What wheel do you have on the car?
That car's running a set of Forge Line wheels.
Okay, and obviously you're gonna have
It was more like a speed focus build with the Forge Line wheels, full AC Snitzer aero on the car, rear wing, front lip, rear diffuser.
Brakes?
Yeah, brakes. We did an AP Racing kit on that car.
Which is a 6-piston or the 8-piston?
I believe that they're 8-piston up front. I believe so. Crazy brake setup. They're like a chrome finish.
Yeah, I saw that. I was gonna ask you about that because I know you got crazy chromes brakes on that car.
We were running pure stage 2 turbos for a long time through all the work up to the 850 horse. Now we're going to go to another turbo setup, which is undisclosed to me yet.
Okay.
They're working with a few different turbo brands out in California where the car is now. It's been out there for quite some time, just getting R&D'd on this stroker motor that they're going to put on the market right after this is worked out. They're also working with Paul Johnson Tunes to get this done. So that's another huge step.
I was going to ask you too, what tune are you planning to do on that car? I know obviously it's going to be a custom tune.
Boot Mod 3, the new Rev. It's going to be
Rev 2.
Yeah, Rev 2. It'll be Paul Johnson Tuning, who's partnering with Steve Donnan over at Carbon to get it done.
What's amazing is that Paul helped develop Rev 2.
Right.
So definitely in your good hands.
Amazing tuner. He's been known through, I think his nickname used to be F80 Paul, right?
Correct.
So like he's been known for a long time in this game.
What's your goal on that car? What's how many horsepower?
My goal is to make a sick daily. Like Steve Dinan and Carbon are known, like when it was Dinan brand back in the day, of making like 100,000 mile rippers. Like you just want a car that's going to be the best driving car that it could be, and you're going to get 100,000 miles out of it, no problem. That's what that car is going to be. I think it's going to come back 800 plus on 93 octane. That's what I think it's going to be. And then we're probably going to throw an E40 tune at it. It's going to be something to it's not going to be the fastest G80 by any stretch, but we don't quarter mile cars around here. We drive them on back roads and enjoy the shit out of it.
Okay.
Especially when we go through the mountains.
Yeah.
And with the flex fuel and his tune and with the Rev 2.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what turbo they slap on it.
Yeah.
And see how much Paul can
it
get
may
out
be
of
a
it.
custom pure. It may be a couple other options. I know the pure was something that he had mentioned. Another one was a Vargas. We'll see what he comes out with at the end. He wants to do his due diligence and make sure that it's going to make the right power at the end of the day.
Understandable. One more thing. I know he sometimes works with Vargas, and they have that straight gate with the integrated wastegate, so that way tuning is even more flawless.
Right.
You think that's something that might be added to the car?
I don't know. They're being real tight-lipped about what they're doing out in California. I call them or email them at this point every couple weeks. Steve emails me back 3 words. Everything's fine, or working out well.
Send the check.
You'll have it by the show. Like I hit him up the other day, Steve. Like, there's a show in California that's coming up that I plan on bringing this car to. The car's already in Cali. I don't have to ship it. It'd be great to drive it from like North California all the way down to the show in LA. Like do some Cali runs like on the way down, and he's like, it'll absolutely be ready for the show. That's all he said. It'll be ready for the show. That was his whole response. 2 weeks.
Another question is, what you got to tell to people that are planning to build their cars in the future? What any advice that you can tell to people, every time that you're building a car? What should you
I would just say like respectfully stay in your budget, right? Like not everybody's going to have the sickest builds because it's just not affordable to everybody. And don't step over a maintenance item to put wheels on your car or to put an intake on your car or whatever it is. Like make sure your maintenance is 100% before you move in any other direction, and make sure you have the ability to maintain the car behind all that. Like these things are expensive. Thankfully, I've been blessed at this point in life to be able to work for myself and have some cool stuff to drive. But if I didn't,
To have some?
yeah, some. We're still working
This
on it.
guy, man, come
It's going
on.
to be a BMW Jay Leno garage at some point. I'm only in my 40s. Like, wait till I'm in my 60s, bro.
So, so let's talk about one thing. What was your first BMW? What drive you to stick to the BMW brand?
So I've got 4 kids. My son, Jeremy Jr., is really big into BMWs. So when he was like a teenager, that was his thing. The E46 was a big car back then. At some point, I got the opportunity to buy E60 545, and I jumped on it. It was a low mileage car, and it was probably the worst BMW I've ever owned. Like I went through it with that car, and when I bought it, I really didn't have the finances to maintain it properly. So there was a lot of like valve seals that were all, you know.
But that's my question though.
Yeah.
So even you going through the worst nightmare with that car, right?
Yeah.
But you stick to the BMW community. You stick to the BMW brand.
There was still value in that car. Like I did what I could to get it right, and then I sold it. But it still had value when I sold it because, you know, like we did some work to it to try to get it right, even though we weren't able to fully maintain that car. But the way that it drove, like I would go away on trips for work or whatever I was doing at the time, and I would come home and drive that car. Dude, it felt like the most planted, best built car I've ever driven up.
And it wasn't even an M. It wasn't even an M.
It was just a 545 and an 8-cylinder E60, you know, base, almost like not a base model, but like a regular car, no M, like no performance upgrades, no suspension upgrades. And the car felt amazing on the road. And so I brought up my son earlier. Shortly after that, he got his license and he begged for an E46, a 330 for his first car. And then that's kind of where it started. So I had the E60, but I really didn't do anything like car related. I just loved the car. You know what I mean?
Especially just a daily driver.
Yeah. And then my son got involved with the E46 at 16 years old is when he got it. And he starts ordering all this shit, right? And I'm like, you're wasting your money buying all this shit for this car. Like, just drive the car, you know? Nah.
So when did you fully get sucked in after he installed all the
So
parts?
he was like, look, they have this group that's going to do this run to Bimmer Fest. I don't know if y'all remember Bimmer Fest back in the day. So he was like, we're going to get together. They're all going to meet up at this spot, like some rest area somewhere. So we pull up. And I was like, not really convinced, but I'm like, I'll spend time with my son doing this. Like, that's cool with me. So we both drive up to this event. Bro, it was a movie. Like, these guys pulled up in a caravan of X5Ms, and the ride down was like a vibe. I could never forget that vibe. Like,
So at least he bought a 330. My first BMW was a 325.
They didn't have 320s back then?
No, we do these, man. Yeah, that's crazy. Though. So you got the 330, right?
He had the 330.
Oh, so he had the
545.
So you had it. So,
yep.
What was your first M?
My first M, well, after the 545, I got a 335.
Was that
E92.
Yeah, E92.
Yeah, and I bought it from a dealership from somebody that traded it in with like 15,000 miles.
M54, M55?
M54,
M54.
07 first gen.
Automatic or stick?
Manual.
Man.
And it was a beautiful.
Come on, bro. We don't drive
yeah.
automatic.
I'm sorry.
They're all automatics. And it was a beautiful car. And then that's really when I got hooked into like making these cars like 100 times what you buy them as, especially like a 335 because it was a regular spec car.
They used to call the 335 the 2 little Jay-Z because the M54 was supposed to, you know, like hold all this power and everything.
And it did. I mean,
what was the first biggest
I heard like
mod?
different things, you know, like some people love the M54.
It's a 300 horsepower car from the factory. Like you can't expect it to be an 800 horsepower car built. It doesn't work like that.
But I'm talking about like, because it wasn't reliable.
No.
A lot of people, you know, say like, you know, M55 was better than M54.
Probably.
But you know,
I never had
M54 wasn't reliable at all because so many people had so many issues with the car.
I think they were reliable. It's just, again, the maintenance thing. And that car needed a ton of maintenance. You're talking about injectors. Injectors got up to like $1,000 a piece at some point. Like who's replacing 6 injectors for $6K on a N54? You know what I mean?
That's what I always say, you know. I always tell people, it doesn't matter what car you drive. If you don't keep up with the maintenance, you could be driving a Ferrari. 100%. It doesn't matter. But you know, you put in so many miles, exactly. But you have to keep up with the maintenance. You know, that's the mainly thing
100%.
on this car.
Yeah, any car that you drive. So from the 335, my first M was I had that car and I kept that car for a long time. I wanted to give it to my son, and another long story. I wound up finding a really clean 2018 M3 comp in 2018. I picked that up.
So that was your first M,
That was my first M car.
which was a F80,
An F80.
and then you just went back to the F80
That's correct.
with the CS.
That's right. 100%. Yeah.
What does CS stand for? Competition slow? That's for my boy, because one of my guys, you got a CS. Bro, I keep telling him, bro, I say, yo, come on.
All the
drive
CS haters.
Yeah, I know, right? I love those things, though. I love it. I love those things. Also, I want to open a debate between S58 owner and a B58 owner and see what was their point of view. You know what I mean? So
I think it would be interesting to find out, like, with an unlimited budget, how many people would go B58.
I mean, I know a few
You know what I mean?
fast B58, and
But
I
is
also
that the
know.
preferred choice if you have money? You know what I mean? Or resources to be able
No,
to do
definitely.
whatever you want?
I definitely feel like if you have enough money, you will always go with an S58.
I think so.
You know what I mean? Like, because it's an M
Yeah.
car. So why would you go with a B58 respectfully? You know what I mean? Like, it make no sense.
B58s make for a great daily driver, and you can add a little bit of power to it. Whereas S58, if you really want to go balls out like Jeremy here, he did it like 6 times over now.
Yeah, easy. Easy.
You know,
I'm in therapy about it.
Well, hopefully the missus doesn't see this podcast immediately.
Oh, I'm sure she's gonna be.
Well,
she's gonna see it.
As long as before the M2 arrives.
Now she's aware of the M2.
That's good. He's like, yo.
You gotta be honest, man.
Happy wife, happy
Yeah,
life.
I've learned too many other ways. You gotta tell them what it is.
All right.
So-
Like it or not.
Now you have, well, basically you're gonna have 7 cars, right?
Yeah.
After the M2.
7 M's.
7 M's,
Yeah.
exactly. So, have you ever thought about to buy a classic car? Any classic BMW? Any A50, any A40, any E36? You know what I mean? Because any E30. Since
I
got all
I
these,
have deeply thought about that recently. I was looking for a 325 IS for a while. There's a few older cars that I would really like to have. An 840i would be a great car to have.
Okay.
But again, you got to find the right spec. It's got to be, properly
decent
cared
chassis.
for.
Would you
Yeah,
go-
a decent chassis.
would you go A40 or A50?
I would
Because
go
A50 is a V12.
Yeah, I would go 840. I just think the V12s are great cars. I don't know, for an old car, I would probably just go with the V8.
Would you ever consider going full resto-mod, per se?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a guy out in California right now that's building. This is going to be funny if he watches this because he keeps hitting me up asking me like what I would like if he were to build it. And I think he's building an E46, right?
Okay.
With
Oh,
a-
E46?
Yeah, but like with a, I don't know, like a crazy V10 in it or something, like an M motor. So at some point, like if that car, he wants to have it done by, a show that's going on out there. If he
Alright.
has it done and it's offered for sale, I would be interested more than likely to buy it. Yeah, I like the idea of resto-mod stuff. I like all car-related stuff. I like all builds. I like B58s.
So,
I like them all.
right now, I know you have invested so much money in all this car that you have, right?
But yeah,
And obviously you got the power to buy any supercar. You got
not any, but yeah.
I mean, most likely,
yeah.
like I know
I can
you
liquidate and buy a car.
exactly.
for
I know
sure.
you can
Yeah.
go out to any dealership and just trade in the Kith or the G90 and then say I want this 488.
Yeah.
Or I want this GT3 RS.
Mhm.
And I know you own a Porsche, by the way, but instead of you doing that, you decide to get a new M.
Yeah.
So why you haven't went the other route, even that you have the money to do it?
A couple years ago, I went out and bought a 911 Carrera 4S to try to figure out like if I wanted to go that route. And I feel like the car is fantastic. It's a great driving car, but it's just not what these cars give you, like feeling wise, in my opinion. And I know I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for that too, because Porsches are some of the best driving cars. I've never owned a GT3. I've never owned a GT3 RS. But just the overall combination that these cars give you between speed, handling, luxury,
And still be a daily driver.
and still be a daily. Like,
So it's funny because you're saying that. So one of my friends that I know, he also owns a GT3 RS.
yeah,
It's a sick one. It's the yellow one that is all with the yellow Corvette.
yeah.
He's selling that car to buy an M, to
Yeah.
buy a G82. I'm like, yo, why are you doing that? He's like, he say he feel like it's more.
Look,
more
Jackie
fun.
was just here earlier. The kid that just dropped his car off that built this for me in Jersey, J King's Auto,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
He has a GT3.
Yeah, that's a
Beautiful car. He just told me on his way out, he actually texted me, I'm buying a G80.
That's crazy.
Like,
yeah.
because he needs a daily.
Right.
Like, so like, there's always going to be that place where even if you have these supercars, like, I'm not a pretentious asshole. Like, I like to drive my cars and hang out with cool people that like to do the same. I don't think that the community is the same. And I've never been in the Porsche community to speak on it, but like, I
It's
like
a little
where
bit
I'm at
different.
now.
For sure, it's a
you know
little,
what I mean?
little bit different because I know All Out Ron in New York, Long Island. Obviously, you know, he runs one of the biggest exotic cars in New York, and you know, I can tell the community it's a little bit.
But you got to
different.
find like the right, mature people to hang out with. Like, you know, I'm sure there's groups that suck. I'm sure there's some that are great. You know what I mean? But overall, like, the community here is different. I go coast to coast with this stuff. Like, I don't just do this here. I go to LA. I go all over with these cars. Like, the love you get from BMW, dude, not from BMW the brand, but from
The
people
people.
that
From
that are
people.
involved in these cars. It's crazy.
It's the other thing.
It's crazy.
So, any advice for all these new kids driving these fast cars? You know, you see now 17 years old kids, 18, 19 years
I think
old kids
I
driving
think the
these
advice would have to
G80s
be for their parents, though.
and also crashing them.
But it comes
So-
from the takeover kids. It comes from the swimming kids on the highways. It comes from all the irresponsible driving, right? It's not guys like you that are
But-
putting on responsible events. It's guys that are
It also stems
Wreaking
from
havoc,
some
like-
of the younger ones
Right.
that trying to buy an M, but they can't really afford it, and then all of a sudden they go through insurance, they get something that they don't really need,
Right.
but then it just hurts us all.
Yeah, but
It
the other
does.
thing is this though, like, yo, bro, you're 19 years old. You know what I mean? Like, you a full bolt-on G80, you're pushing 750.
it's absurd to me
So,
that,
you know, like,
that these kids are doing it that way at
You
that
have,
age.
you know, you
Like, I'm in my mid-40s, bro. Like, I know how to drive a car. I would have probably killed myself with a G80 at 17 years old.
That's what I'm saying. So, you know, I feel like it's too much car. I know probably gonna get a lot of hate for this, but
Nah.
you know, it's too much car for 18 or
100%.
19 years old kids.
Definitely.
You're pushing 750 horsepower with a full bolt-on. You know, and I have seen so many crashes in New York. You know, and the first thing that you go to social media and then you see 19-year-old kid just crashed a G80 or
Yeah,
G82.
but 60 days, 30 days after that, it disappears and you don't hear shit about it no more. So, like, it's not really even,
But I
you
feel
know,
like
you know what I
it's-
mean? That's crazy, too.
But I also feel like
It's weird that they're treating it like it's disposable.
Right.
But it's also hurting the car community though, especially the BMW
100%.
brand, you know,
Yeah.
because now you go out, right? You're driving your M and then you be in Target just because you're driving a
Automatically.
BMW.
Yeah,
Automatically.
I agree.
So you know, like it's crazy. So I think all these kids, you know, they should drive more responsible, you know, and
But their
it's-
parents
it's-
should be buying the more responsible vehicles, too. I just spoke about my son getting a 330 as his first car. He drives an M2 G87 today. Like, he didn't just jump into an M2. He went to the 340, which I spoke about in this conversation as well. There were steps. He had a 335 that, you know, that was where my car got destroyed. You know what I mean? The one that I had went to him. So, like, he stepped his way through faster cars on the way up and
And that's how you
figured it
build
out.
experience.
Of course, yeah. It's how you have to build it. Otherwise, you got to know your car. You know, these guys are
You just get in,
2
push
years,
start.
3 years
yeah,
experience
that's what I'm
driving.
saying, bro. Like, you know, you just jump on a car that you
crazy.
don't really know. Also, this is the other thing, right? So when I first got my M, you know, it's
the
rear wheel
traction
drive, rear wheel drive. I was driving with the traction control on the whole time for the first 6 months.
Yeah.
The traction was on the whole time. You know what I mean? So you gotta respect the car. You know, if you don't respect the car, you're gonna crash the car. Especially if you have a rear wheel drive. Rear wheel drive is not meant for any
F80.
Yeah, exactly. So-
F80s are reckless if you don't drive them properly.
You gotta have the wheel. You gotta have the wheel.
You gotta have the
Especially if they can't maintain it, and then last thing you know, they're driving it like
shitty tires, whatever. Yeah,
Whatever
fucked up
that
shit.
That's another point. You know.
So we were going to talk about like the best first mods, right? I think one of your best first mods should be suspension because of like the ability to hold the road. Like I've driven so many cars where I've almost died because it had a stock setup on it. You know what I mean? And it can
Yeah.
be the sickest, fastest car, but this thing starts hopping at $150 and you're toast. Like you just got to
tires, suspension, and brakes.
So-
absolutely.
West Coast, East Coast.
Oh,
I'm an East Coast. I'm an East Coast guy from birth. So
but Jeremy's also on the West Coast a lot.
yeah, but I'm gonna.
Yeah, bro, he's from here. I'm sorry, bro. Come on.
100%. Yeah, East Coast 100%. West Coast has a dope vibe. Super nice people out there. Like I said, the community is amazing out on the West Coast. Like love everywhere you go in the BMW community. People invite you into their shops, into their whatever at any time of the night. Like whatever you need. I'm telling you, I've gone through some. I could tell you stories about how accommodating that that coast is, like in the community on that coast. But this is to me where the heart of this stuff
Yeah, because
is.
it's always been a debate.
Yeah.
East Coast or West Coast.
I think
So-
they're more like super clean cars because the weather out there, right?
Yeah, they have their own style that accommodates them and it suits them better.
Yeah.
Especially if you're 80 degrees
Yeah,
year-round.
especially because you can really mod your car over there.
You can't really.
And
Right.
the roads are a little bit more.
Yeah, you can do anything because
No.
was it
But
the
they've
admission?
got a ton of OEM, beautiful, like an
You can't really do
E39
much.
that looks like it's,
you
you know,
can't
like
really do,
never was touched.
a modification.
Well, yeah, it's like OEM plus to a certain degree. But
Yep.
yeah, it's strict there. You know, the
Super
last
strict.
thing they want to do is get a ref state ticket, and then they got to bring it in for inspection, and
Right.
it's just a headache.
But there's definitely a vibe out there. There's definitely a community. There's
Yeah, I
definitely
know.
a ton of people
I've been
that
getting so many DMs from people,
Yeah.
asking me to go over there, and
it's lit.
as you know, we went last year to South Beach, Miami, and we had a great time over there
Yeah.
for sure. And
Dude,
everyone
Florida's
was-
a great community too, but that's East
Yeah.
Coast. We got to claim that.
That's East
That's
Coast.
all East Coast. Yeah, let's go.
So yeah, so I always like to hear about what people got to say, East Coast or West Coast.
I would love to go to Europe with these cars at some point.
And that's the ultimate goal,
Right?
to be
Would
honest.
you ever consider doing a pickup in the?
Yeah, like a European delivery.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now that I have more time and the ability to probably do it, absolutely. Yeah. I've never even done a performance delivery pickup though.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Oh shit! All right.
I just-
So out of all 7 cars that you're gonna have, which one is your favorite one to drive?
The M4 here, probably.
M4.
Yeah.
What do you like the most about the car?
It's like at a really good spot, like power wise. And it just handles really well. The M4 body, the chassis rather, is just such a great. It's a great built car. Like,
So
and that car's probably like 630-ish to the wheel. That's a great driving car. You could point and shoot that car wherever you want all day long. All day long. No
do you
questions
like
asked.
this better driving wise compared to a G80? Or you think
I
there's a
do
little
like
bit
this.
Yeah, that's
more.
actually a good
I feel,
question,
I feel like
because-
you sit lower in this. It's only a 2-door, right?
Right.
The only issue is the doors are so long because it's a coupe. But yeah, I like driving this car better. But again, I haven't driven the G80 in almost a year because it's been.
Well, I got my friend to
But yeah,
Aslan.
for sure.
He got the G80, he got an M2, M3, and M4, which eventually we're gonna interview him too.
Yeah.
And he also say he rather to drive the M4 than the M3.
I drove them back to back up at Monticello Raceway at a BMW
Okay.
event a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity.
I
If you
have.
have the opportunity and you haven't been, you should get to that event. You get
Actually,
to drive.
there's one coming up.
There is in September, I
Yeah.
believe, right? So you get to drive all the new M's on the track, and you get to do them like back to back. Like you'll do M2s, you'll do. Well, they didn't do M2s when I was there. It was 240s because the M2 wasn't out yet. But you got to do the G80, the G82, all back to back, and then you got to do the M5, I think, which was the F90,
F90
at the time.
at the time.
Immediately, I knew from going
So-
from the G80 to the G82 that it was a supreme car. Like the G82 handled the track so much.
So G82 handled better than the
100%.
than the G80.
Yeah, at Monticello. Yeah.
F90, G90.
Never drove an F90. But I bet you it's amazing. I might have one at some point. But I want a CS. You know
This
what I
guy,
mean?
man.
Yeah, you gotta find a CS.
But that's another $130,000
Yeah, I know,
used
yeah.
car. Like that's
Really.
tough to swallow, bro. A new car, but used 130 is a tough go.
It's a nice car, though. It's a really nice car.
Yeah. 4 buckets, like it's a great car. I wouldn't mind having one. in the collection.
F82?
I've never driven one. I like the F80 way better personally, like look wise, but I've never
Come on,
driven
where we
the
going?
I've never
Come
driven
on.
the F82.
Look at this guy,
I
man,
like the
right
rear-
next to me. You're supposed to say that right next to me. Okay, here we go.
I
Talk
just
to me
like the
nice
rear.
and slow.
I just like the rear end of the F80 so much.
No, yeah,
better.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's not even a question. When I bought mine, I was looking for F80, not F82. But like now that I have my M and the way I got
it
it done,
built, yeah.
I love that car.
Yeah.
I love it. But the rear end on the F80 will look way
Classic,
better.
yeah.
It looked really nice. 1M. Have you ever thought about to have one?
No, but that's an N54 car, right?
That is, yes.
So I've had a
100%.
335. I've driven a 1 Series like loaner. I could imagine it's probably a rocket ship and a great car to drive because of the handling and the power that the N54 has. But I've never wanted to buy one. It's not for me. It's not a true M car. And I'm probably going to get hate for that too. It's not an M motor,
a lot of
right?
people love the
Yeah.
1M though.
And it's
a lot
a
of people
super
love the
pricey
1M.
car. It's a great looking car, but it's not an M motor in that car. To me, it's an N54 car.
It
It's a
is.
335 and a 1 Series body, right?
Would you ever consider to buy M8?
Never in my life would I consider it.
Wow, you guys heard that? That's crazy.
Never.
That really is. Okay.
It's a huge car. It's not appealing to me at all. The ones I see all look.
I feel like it's just really hard to make them look really, really good.
You can, like my boy
I
Chris
only know
down in
like
Maryland,
two M8 that are crazy, which is
Yeah.
Mark M8
and Chris down in Maryland with the black.
Oh yeah, that thing
Yeah.
is sick, bro. I love his
Amazing.
build.
But he's probably into that car 160 plus the sticker. You know what I mean? Like that's absurd. to me.
That's a sick build, though.
That's a
Really, I love that
$300,000
car.
M8. You know what I mean?
$300,000, you know.
Probably.
Yeah. It's
We
a lot
can't
of,
afford shit like that around here. No, I'm not an M8. I'm not an M8 guy. It's the one chassis that I would never buy. I would buy an X3 M. I would buy an X5 M. I love the new ones, but I would never buy an M8.
All right. Fair enough. I mean,
So E90, E92, you ever consider M3 though?
I would
V8.
love, my favorite would be an E90. If I could find a clean one, I would be all over it. You know what I mean? But
Yes.
manual E90 M3, if I could find a good E92 manual, I would probably buy that also.
if it was a vert.
No, I wouldn't buy a Vert.
No, not Vert.
I want a slick top.
Yeah.
Bro,
Slick
don't
top is always the way.
disrespect my guy, bro.
But I would take one with a sunroof if I had to. But I
Okay.
would not buy a Vert.
Oh, you already got a Vert, the Porsche, right? The
Porsche's
is
a Vert, yeah.
Vert. So how does that car handle?
The Porsche?
Yeah.
Phenomenal. It's on KWs also because that's my go-to suspension brand. You should send me some suspension. The car handles phenomenally. You try to break that thing loose. It's in a 4S, so it's an all-wheel drive version of the Carrera. It's got a Softronics tune on it, so it's about 550 horse, 550 torque.
Oh, nice.
And the car's like a go-kart. It's literally, you try to break it loose and the wheels just, you could feel them pulling on the cement, but they just do not break loose.
Is there a car in your stable that's not been touched?
I have an SQ7 that's completely stock.
Okay, well, that's
It's on
an
lease.
SQ7.
It's coming back to Audi soon. Not touched at all. That car right there. No, that's touched also. So yeah, just my wife's car. That's it.
So
My son's car too. Yeah, he hasn't touched it. My younger son.
Porsche,
Yeah.
Audi, BMW, Benz.
Yeah, it would probably be like.
Which would you consider to ever buy an Audi and fully build it, or a Benz or a Benz?
No.
I know Benz, like, you know, like you don't really see a fast Benz out there. You know, I feel like
They're great cars. They're super nice, but like there's.
I feel like there's no,
I wouldn't buy another one. I have a C63. I wouldn't buy, and I still have it to this day. I would not buy another.
is that an AMG?
It's an AMG. Yeah.
So I feel like there is no many parts. There's no many aftermarket parts for the for Benz.
The C63 I have went to Rentec, who's like the like the Carbon or Dynan of Mercedes, like a factory authorized tuner. They did their thing to it. I've had the car for like 5 years, never a hiccup, never a check engine light. It has full exhaust, downpipes, blow off valves. Like it's a
But-
built car.
Mention me a Benz,
But it's not fun
that
to
has
drive.
been on the 7 seconds or 8 seconds.
Yeah, I
car.
mean they're just not built like that.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
do you think that's why people
But
ride?
handling too, like the car doesn't handle like a BMW.
Yeah, I give you that too, because
It's more like a luxury sports car, but it's like for driving fast on the highway.
what about Audi?
Audi's a great car. Like I said, my wife has a SQ7. It's got a big 4.0 V8 in it, like the Urus motor.
Yeah,
The truck, it sounds amazing. It burbles. It's a great truck, but
Would you ever consider RS7?
I would never consider an RS7. I would never consider another Audi if it wasn't an R8. That's the only Audi I
Gotcha.
would consider moving forward.
Yeah, I
And I
was
would
going to
build-
ask you
and
that.
I
I
would
was
build
going to
an
ask you
R8.
that.
V8 or V10?
A V10.
Automatically.
Yeah, 100%.
All right.
Twin turbo.
Yeah.
And just,
Go wild.
for sure. And keep it forever. I wouldn't sell that. That I might do a
Twin
vert.
turbo on that, that's crazy.
I might do a vert in an R8.
So if you ever buy a supercar, right? Would you go Ferrari? Would you go Lambo? Or obviously you say an Audi, but you know,
it would be German, not Italian, I'm sure.
so it's something about the German that caught your attention then.
I don't know. Again, no hate towards supercar owners. I'm not a Lambo guy. I'm not a flashy, I need attention. Even if the car is like amazing. Like there's some guys that rip them apart, build them, and really want to drive them. But like I just never really felt that vibe. Even growing up around like Countach posters and all this, like they were always great cars. But I always wanted a 911, dude. Like my entire life, I wanted a ill Porsche. Like
So would you ever consider to buy a 911 Turbo S?
yeah, absolutely. We'll buy a Turbo S.
one of my friends just got one last
100%.
week.
Yeah, I
I
would.
think it's sick.
Just to have it because it's a rocket ship. It's crazy. I would love to have a Turbo S. But
Okay.
we all need to, we all want something in life, right?
I mean, you know, like you have.
Green card.
All
He
you
wants a
gotta
green
do
card.
It's
Trade a couple in.
That's it. Just straight two. That's it. You need to.
We don't
just
sell
need-
them. Last
that's
car I
it.
got rid of, I gave to my son. We don't sell cars. Like we just buy them and keep them.
That's good, man. Listen, you know, huge shout out to you. You know, for having all this M, for repping the brand for sure.
Of course, of
you
course.
know,
It's not without good people like yourself. You know, you guys coming out here today, it was, you know what I mean, it was dope. The people that helped me fix these cars, amazing people. Like, it's the community with the BMWs. Dude.
It's a different mindset.
It's the community.
Yeah.
And that's the vibe, like 100%. Whether it's fixing your car, getting it upgraded. I had a guy drop the car off at 8 o'clock this morning on a Saturday morning to my door that just did a bunch of work to it for me. And he lives an hour and a half away. Like, this is the vibe in this community. It's not unheard of. You know what I mean? We just, you know, we go out of our way to make sure everybody's good.
Now, I know these guys, we've been telling them all the positives.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest drawback or pain in the ass that you've had so far?
It's like owning a nice house, right?
Uh-huh.
People come to your door to do work. They think you got money to spend, and they're just going to hit you over your head with shit. I don't like the industry in a lot of ways right now because I think people are really trying to tax people for stuff with this car stuff. Like, certain things aren't worth what it's being charged for. Certain, I don't know. That's like it's not so honest online.
It's
you
a
know
little
what I
bit
mean?
greedy.
It is a little bit. It's a little bit shady.
Yeah.
Like, I spend a ton of money, and I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus on this podcast by any means. But there's brands that I'm really hesitant to dealing with that I've spent tens of thousands of dollars with because of the way they do business, and it's just not, you know what I mean, the way that it should be. There are some people, on the other hand, that are fantastic, but watching out for the cash grabs and
I know a lot of people out there, they consider BMW back in the 2000s, 1990s to be the new Honda. A lot of modification, a lot of parts out there,
Yeah.
a lot of choices, but then shops. I know you built a great relationship with Thompson,
yeah.
but before that, have you had any good shops, bad shops, any experiences?
I think we've all had both, right? But you know the red flags to look out for when you go to a shop to try to move business along, you know, and say, okay, I'm just going to get this done and I'm going to move along.
Do you have any advice for our viewers, like certain red flags to look for from your experience?
Just common sense red flags, I would think, like with a shop. But you also have to know your car to a certain degree. You don't want to go in blind and just...
And say, yeah, I need,
and
need
hope,
new blinker fluid.
Exactly. Or you need special air in your tire, or whatever they tell these people that are completely clueless. I think it's absurd. But yeah, if you know your car and you also participate in the community is a big thing because the forums are humongous. Like, there's ways you go to these cars and coffees, you meet people. Like, there should be no reason why, if you have
The
something
knowledge
that
is
you're
out
dealing
there.
with, that
Yeah.
you couldn't get like a grassroots answer or at least idea what's going on. I mean, I see people all day long. I have a check engine light. What's my problem? You know what I mean? Like, type stuff online. So
And then somebody out of the blue will automatically give them an answer.
Yeah.
Either, it might be
Idiot,
absurd.
we need codes.
Yeah. But there's a big part of it where camaraderie helps build the community to where
I've
it
also
is.
been super fortunate, right? So when I did the N54 build, I dealt with a guy named David Shoup out of Florida.
Okay.
That guy is like one of the OGs in the MHD tuning of cars today. So like, it seems like the people you meet in this community wind up following you through it, like doing bigger and better things. Like,
Yeah.
it's amazing how like you just bump into people and then
It's
they're
a
like-
small world.
It is
It's
a super
definitely a
small
small
world.
world.
Yeah.
But it carries weight, especially if they're doing it 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And they were first just starting out.
Yep.
The same way how we built our cars.
Yep.
Obviously, we all grow together, and technology has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, these cars are full bolt-on. You're already doing 7 and change, and it's wild. I guess that's
It
why
is.
it's appealing to the younger market.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, that's a totally different topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, you know, I just want to say we're gonna end this podcast for today. It was really a pleasure, Jeremy, to do this with you guys. Thank you to Warren, and you know, I think we're definitely gonna have some other podcasts where we're gonna be talking about some with some B58 owners and see what they got to say to you.
No question. I'm ready for it.
You know,
Bring it on. I
huge
don't
shout
hate to
out-
be 58. Let's get that out there. Don't come for me. I just wouldn't buy one.
It's a huge shout out. Yeah, huge shout out to 16G80, Chinito X3 over there, myself, and huge shout out to the media guys, Panda Vibe. You guys can look it up on IG and League Gallery. Great podcast today. You know, this is just the beginning. See you guys there. Peace.
Driving a German whip. Driving a German whip. Yo! If you see my driving a German whip, rock out.